In this video, we're going to talk about the XDelivery option and how to install the feature into Aid, or what kind of ordering systems you could create with the XDelivery option. So in this video, we want to show you all the different types of things that you can do with this great feature. And I'm just going to make a couple adjustments here to colors so I can highlight some things as we go. So in this screen here, this is a document I've created that explains how to install and configure the feature. Of course, here's a couple of the different options of what types of apps you might do with that. You could also do a restaurant app like this one here. So these are a couple of options, but let's go ahead and go over to the app builder and take a look in here. So in this app, I've already created a new app called Pizza, and I've added a few features into it. And the feature that's highlighted, which would be the one that you would see if you just added the XDelivery option into your app, you'd see the configuration page here, the page settings for XDelivery. And in my case, I've already changed the icon. I've already changed the page name to the page name that I want, which is order. And now you see the options that are available to you for configuring the app. And so what's nice about this particular feature is that it's not just for food ordering. It really could be used for any type of e-commerce. It could be used in place of Shopify or WooCommerce and some of the other commerce tools that are out there, or any of the third-party solutions that you might plug into an app and access them through a website. So this gives you the ability to have a complete mobile app with an ordering system all embedded inside your app, everything self-contained, everything managed from inside the back office of your app. So for your customer, this is a nice, tidy solution that you can put together for them that's completely customized. And so when you think about creating an ordering system, you think about a catalog of products or a menu of products, if it's a restaurant. And what you're going to want to do is try to organize your menu in such a way that it looks and feels like the regular physical menu that's in the restaurant, because you don't want the customers to have to try to figure out what you've done differently from the menu that they're used to looking at. So you're going to want to try to break it down in a similar fashion to the way it's done already. Once you've got that menu, then you can make some decisions about how that's going to lay out. But this particular feature gives you the ability to create categories, create products, create variable products, create add-ons, both paid and not paid, free options like condiments. If it's a hamburger, for instance, you might have ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise and pickles and lettuce and tomato and whatever type of condiments that you like to put on a hamburger. And those would typically not be something you would charge for. On the other hand, you might charge extra for cheese. So you might have a hamburger, but then you charge extra for cheese. And so you can have that item set up however you need it to be. In the case of a pizza has a lot of variations, right? A pizza might come in multiple sizes. A pizza might have many different toppings that you might put on it. It might have the ability to have extra toppings, extra of an individual topping, half a pizza with one set of toppings and another half with a different set of toppings or some variation. And so in the case of pizza, there are quite a lot of changes. And so for that reason, we're going to make a simple pizza ordering system today to highlight how you might take some of those permutations that are involved in making a pizza ordering system, because it's probably one of the more complicated ones. And this will help you to understand how to implement these features in virtually any type of app that has any type of options as you go forward. So as we look at these settings that are available to us, we've got the category and product. We're going to stay with category because that's how we want it to be listed over here. We have the ability to have this in a list or a grid, and the category design can be a list or a grid. We can enable orders, and we can enable the option to accept or reject orders, which in some cases a business might want to not accept every order. Either it's after the time that they want to make food, or maybe they're out of something, or maybe the person ordered something that they can't make for some reason. And so they might need to contact that customer. They might just reject the order altogether, and the customer may call in. So you've got some options here. So you've got some simple options here that you're going to decide on, or you don't have to decide. You can always change them later. In your cart settings, you can decide how many items have to be in the cart, what quantity can be in the cart. Maybe 100's too many. How many pizzas do you want them to be able to order? How many items? Maybe you do catering, so maybe you do need a lot of orders. Maybe you have football games that you deliver pizza to, and somebody might order 100 pizzas or 200 pizzas. So whatever you need for your particular business, that's what you're going to want to set here. What's the maximum quantity per product that can be ordered? What's the maximum order value? Maybe you don't want any orders made unless the value is of a certain value. So if that's the case, then you'd select that here. Now, one thing to think about too, obviously, depending on what part of the world you're in, you have a different currency. I'm in the United States, and so I have my settings set for currency in the United States. You might set it to British pound, you might set it to euro, or whatever the currency is in your region of the world. So just keep in mind that any of the settings that you see here are going to be based on the United States and the US dollar. So the way that our tax is calculated is usually done separately. It's done after the fact, so you'll see the price of the item and you'll see the tax separately. In some parts of the world, they have a value-added tax, a VAT, and in some cases, that VAT is added directly to the price, and so it doesn't show as a separate line item in the receipt. But you can configure all of those things for the region that you have. And so just to be sure that you understand that if you're not in the United States, some of these options may look a little different when you have it set up for your region. You can also set the delivery settings here in average time, right? 30 minutes. If you do it faster, then you can change that. Your average pickup time for people that pick up orders rather than have delivery. And then, of course, you got your currency options. Where's the currency identifier? Where's it positioned? In the United States, of course, the dollar sign is set to the left. In other places, the currency symbol may be set to the right. And so you can adjust that however you need it to be, with a space, without a space, whatever you need. We use a decimal separator. Some people use a comma, and then others basically interchange the comma and the period from the way that we do it here in the U.S. And then you can also set the number of decimal places. So again, whatever you need in your region. So this is something you're going to have to decide, and it's going to be based on your region. And of course, you can adjust this if you make apps for multiple regions. Then you just need to be aware of what the region requirements are for where the app's being built and where it will be used and what customers are using it. So, and in many cases, people are using an app like this for a local business in the case of a restaurant. But if you're doing something like an e-commerce app, it's possible people could be using it across multiple geographies, and it could be different. You can also set the background, like most of the options inside the apps. You can set the background, portrait and landscape pictures so that there's a background, or depending on how you have your app set, it could use the colors or whatever background you set for the entire app. So that's entirely up to you, and of course that differs across the different apps. And so first thing we do is we set these various options here. We've got the category, we're going to go with that. We're going to allow maybe to accept and reject orders. We're going to go ahead and use these defaults as they are. We're going to click Save. And now we're ready to go on to the next phase of the configuration. See, we've got all these things set at this point. And so at this point, we need to go create our store. In our store, it's going to be called Pizza for this example. And we can put the phone number in there if we want to. I'm going to put my business phone number in here. Maybe I won't, because maybe that's not a good idea. And my email is pizza@pizzapizza.com. My store address is 123 Pizza Street. Again, keep in mind this is a demo we're building. The city is, let's call it London. Let's call it New York. Let's call it NYC. And the zip code, I don't know the zip code in New York, but we'll just use 32726, which is my zip code where I live. And we're going to save the information for that. Now that we've saved that, notice we have a lot more options. Okay, so now that we have created our store, we need to make sure we like the business hours. And so when we go down to the bottom of the store settings, what we'll see here is in the same store settings, what we're going to see is now all of the days of the week are populated for you automatically. And at this point, it's showing that we're open from 9 to 6 and that we take delivery orders that we're active for both delivery and pickup during that entire time frame each day. So whatever you want to set for your business hours that you actively accept orders, that's what you're going to want to fill in to this section down here. So right now I'm just taking the defaults, but you can obviously change this to whatever you need this to be for your particular business. And so we're just going to leave those settings alone, and we'll move on to the other settings and take a look at these up here. And you can see the rest of the options that we have to set inside the apps. And that's going to open a new page for us, and you'll see this page starting to open here for our products. And this is where we're going to put our products, our categories. We can set up the attributes, the extra options, the orders, and you can see the transactions here as they start to come in. And so let's go back to our original screen, and we can decide how people are going to pay. So if we want them to be able to use the e-wallet, if we're using the e-wallet feature, we can select that. If not, that's okay. If we want to accept cash on delivery from some of our customers, we can select that option. If you live in a region where where bank transfers are common, here in the United States we have ACH, but it's not as common to use in a small business for simple transactions like food ordering. So in the United States, this would typically not be an option we would use, but it could be used in some places. And it may get used in the future as more and more people are doing cashless types of transactions and going straight to their bank. Check or money order, we don't see this used as much today in the United States, but again, the option is there for places where that still is common. And then you've got Stripe and you've got PayPal. And so you can pick these options for how you want to do this. For our example here, I'm only going to accept check and money order, and I'm going to accept cash. And so we'll save the cash. And where's my money order? Oh, and now I got to go back to my money order and save that. Oh, it can't be empty. So let's make sure that we put some information in there. Please make check or money payable to Pizza. Of course, you're going to put in there whatever is appropriate for your business. And so now we've got our payment set up. And these are just the basic store settings that we need in order for that to be ready to go. As far as delivery and pickup, if there's a cost, we're going to put that in there. In some cases, delivery is free. If you want a cost in there, let's just say we're going to charge $2 for delivery. We're going to give our delivery drivers 30 minutes. Of course, it could be less or more, depending on what you need. Whatever on a busier night, maybe you need to change that. So you can go in and adjust that. Enable date to deliver option. So if you wanted people to be able to order in advance, and maybe they've got a big event coming up, and there's a big party. There's 100 pizzas or whatever are going to be ordered, 50 pizzas. Maybe it's a church meeting or any kind of event, and they're going to need some lead time. It would be nice to make that order in advance. You can pay for it, and then you can set that to whatever you need. If you're the business, you're going to decide what this needs to be. Obviously, you're not going to let somebody order 100 pizzas the same day that you have to make them and try to fit that into your normal schedule. Enable time to pick up. Again, these are going to be very specific to each business. So we're going to save, I don't think we made any changes there, but if we save that, so we've got our delivery settings, right? We've already set our regular settings. We've now got our delivery settings. We've set our payment method. We've already clicked on products. We've got orders here, which opens up the list of orders that would have been made. Again, this is the same. It's going to open a separate page because you may want to manage or view these things separately without impacting the other thing. So we're going to go back over here and we take a look. We got orders, we got taxes. So let's go ahead. Taxes are something that everybody's going to need to set up. I happen to live in Florida, so we're going to want that status to show for the tax. And we're going to call this Florida State Sales Tax. And in my part of Florida, it's 7%. I believe the actual state amount is 6%, and then counties and municipalities get to add and change that. So you could see it in the state of Florida from 6% to, I don't know, 7.5%, 8%, depending on what part of the state you might be in. So you could potentially add whatever you need to have here. Depending on where you are, you may have different taxes. So we're going to put 7%. And in the state of Florida, our tax is the same on all these different types of items that would be sold this way. So we wouldn't have multiple rates. For a business that sits in a certain tax district, it'll be taxed the same rate for every item they sell that is taxable. Not every item is taxable, and so that's something you'll have to think about as well. But in the case of prepared food, it is. In the case of groceries here in the state of Florida, it's not. Some other states, it would be. So again, depending on where you are, and again, I'm stating the obvious for folks who are in the United States, but people outside the United States obviously have different ways of doing this. The slider gives you the ability to set a graphic, and you can set graphics and offers and things like that on the home screen that would sit above your category. So you'd have, if we look back at this image that I have of a restaurant app, you can see here where it says Slide Geeks, and someone has made a demo here with a slider. And you can have sliding images here. They could be offers, they could be pictures of food, whatever you want them to be. So that's what would go here in this particular area if we wanted to put a slider in. In our example today, we're not going to put a slider in there, but you can set how long it's valid. So if it was a special offer, you may not want it to show up in there forever. You may only want it for a specified time. You can also decide where it displays and whether or not it's active. Okay, so we're not going to do that. So we're just going to submit, and there's nothing there. So we didn't submit anything. All right, so now let's go over to what is the most important part at this point. See, we've got an inactive slider because we didn't upload anything. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete that because we don't need an inactive slider. Okay, so now moving on, let's go over here and take a look at, I don't need to see orders right now. What I need to see is products and categories. And so I can create my products, right? If I want to create a product, I just click here and create a product, and then I can decide if that product is active or not, right? If I don't have any categories, though, I can't assign things to a category. So if we start with categories, let's think about our simple pizza restaurant, our imaginary restaurant. What would be a good category to start with? Well, we know that most businesses, most restaurants, especially a pizza restaurant, is going to have pizza, right? So let's start with the pizza category. Pizza made to order. And it's not going to have a parent category. We're going to want it to be active, and maybe we want it to be available in the popular search. And so we're going to save the pizza category. Now, we may also want to have a thumbnail picture that goes with that. I didn't put one, but we obviously would want a picture of pizza in there to make it look nice. And when you make your app complete, of course, you're going to want pictures of the types of food and categories that apply to the categories in food that you're creating inside the menu. But in here, let's go ahead and create another category. So what other kind of category might we have? Well, we might have appetizers, right? Or as some people call them, starters. Starters and appetizers. Let's make that active, make it popular in search. And just for fun here, well, let's do it like that. Oops, I misspelled it. Let's go ahead and just do it the sloppy way, easy way. And I've got starters and appetizers. And so now we have two categories. And then maybe I want to have a salad category or a sandwich category. So let's maybe have, how about sandwiches? Hot and cold sandwiches. And we save that. And let's create another one for salads. And we're going to save that. So now we've created, let's not forget drinks, right? Beverages. Drinks and let's just call it beverages. Hot and cold beverages. And we'll make that active. And away we go. So at this point, we've created quite a few categories. And if we've decided that we wanted to put pictures, right, we can go back and put the pictures. We can also change the order just by simply dragging and reposition those in whatever way we want. Like, for instance, we probably want our pizza to be underneath the starters, and we probably want the starters and salads to be at the top, pizzas, sandwiches, and beverages to be at the bottom. And then maybe I want to also have, maybe we serve dinner and pasta and things like that. So maybe we want to put dinners as a separate option. And here we put our spaghetti and lasagna and things of that nature. Maybe we want to say pasta. Pasta dinners. Or dinners, how about this? Dinners and pasta. And now we probably want to reposition that. Let's put our beverages down at the bottom. And away we go. So now we've got our categories created. Now, if we wanted to, we could create subcategories by going into the subcategory. And we could make this as intricate as necessary if we wanted to. So I'm not going to do that in this particular example, but you get the point. It's very easy to do, very easy to modify. If we want to go in and put our picture next to our starters, we go back in, and we just click the image, and away we go. We can pull an image from our images that we've got ready. So I'm not going to do that right now because I think everybody can understand how to put an image in, but you'll just want to make sure that you've got an image that's appropriate and looks good when you put it in there and it represents the category. Okay, once we've got our categories created the way we think we want them, of course, we can always go back and add more. We can change them around, resort the order. Again, the idea here is to manage this in a way that when it's finished, it looks like the same order that the menu is printed and what they give their customers when they sit down at a table. And so at this point, we want to create a new product. So let's create a brand new product. And let's call this product, let's call it a cheese pizza. And we're going to call it cheese pizza because I'm not going to be very creative in this one yet. We'll make it active. And this is a delicious hand-tossed thin crust pizza with our secret sauce recipe. And now if you'll notice over to the right here, we've got our product categories. So obviously this is pizza, so it's going to go in the pizza category. And we could, if it was the kind of food that maybe we wanted it in 2 categories, we could, but we're not. Obviously, it's not a sandwich. But we could select multiple categories if it made sense. So if you have an item that is like a salad, for instance, you might sell the salad as a separate item, but you might also, it might also be a starter. So you might want it listed under salads, and you might want it also listed under starters. So there's lots of things you could do. Beverages, right? You might have beer under beverages. You might have Coke and tea and coffee as beverages, but you might also have alcoholic beverages or adult beverages, and you might list it in another category. It just depends on what the business needs and how they've done it in the past, and you want to try to match whatever they have. So you have the ability to do that. Now, when we go down here, let's say at this point, we've got a simple product and we've got a variable product, right? So when we look at these variable products versus simple products, what is the difference between a simple and a variable product? Well, a simple product is I've got a cheese pizza. I only have one size of the cheese pizza. And when I make the cheese pizza, this pizza is going to have a simple price, right? One price, whatever the price might be. And maybe I'm going to have some add-ons for that pizza. But it's only going to be the pizza at its regular base price, and then whatever price I might add by adding add-ons to that pizza. Now, what if I have a restaurant where I have multiple size pizzas? I don't just have one size. I've got a small, a medium, a large, an extra large even. Then I'm not going to be able to do it that way. I could create a separate item for each pizza at each size if I wanted to, but then I would duplicate all my efforts. So what I can do here instead is click this to be a variable pizza or a variable product type, in which case now I'll need to create variants. And since we haven't created any variants yet, we're going to do that right now. So depending on what you had for a product, we're talking about pizza at this point, so it may not have a SKU. That might be something that physical box products that you ship, more of an e-commerce store, you might use that. And if you wanted to manage stock, you can then manage the quantity, you can manage the low threshold so that as you sell products, and get alerted when you're getting low. But in our case, we're dealing with pizza, right? We're a pizza restaurant. Pizza is always in stock, so we're not going to do anything with this setting. Now, in the case of attributes, this is where we're going to end up building our variant list. And so here, at this point, we have no product attributes. So now we're going to create the rest of our settings for the attributes that we need in order to be able to have our variable products. So just looking back over here, you can see now after saving the changes or seeing the changes, we can see that we've got all of our categories showing over here now in our app. And inside of our app, we can see that there's a pizza in there. So this app is starting to take shape. So getting back over to our product page and going back to where we created our products, we're going to go ahead now and create attributes so that we can set up the variables that we need. So the first thing we want to do is create pizza sizes. And we'll make this setting and make that active. And then now we're going to go into the values, and we're going to need to have small, medium, large, and extra large. Oops. Extra large. Be able to type. And that's all we need for our pizzas, because we're only going to have those 4 sizes. And now we've got all of the attributes that we need here. Now, the other thing that we're going to need, and we don't have to do it right this minute, but we will need to do it, so we may as well just go ahead and move on to this now, is create the extra options. So as we talked before, we're going to create a variable product. We're going to have a small, a medium, and a large pizza, but we're also going to have toppings available. So we started out with that cheese pizza. So what other items might we want on our pizza? Well, first of all, this is going to be categories we're creating for pizza. Now, if we want to create categories for other stuff, we can do that as well. And so we want to make this required, and we want to make it active. So the first thing we probably want to have is cheese, right? Because somebody might want extra cheese, and we can go ahead and create that and make that, or well, actually what we want to do is we want to make this pizza toppings, don't we? So let's make this pizza toppings. And we have an option here. We can have multiple choice, limited choice, or single choice. Well, if I'm deciding on a crust type, then I might make it, you got to pick one, because obviously you can't have multiple, right? So let's, in fact, we could do that if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and make it crust. Let's make the first one crust, and let's make that a single choice. Okay? And we're going to save that. Now let's create one more category for toppings. So this is pizza toppings. And then these will be multiple choice, because you will want to be able to pick as many options as you might like to have on your pizza. Some people like to have a lot of different ingredients. Some people only a few. So now we're going to create our multiple choice pizza toppings option. And now we have 2 different sets of categories. Now, keep in mind, we have some other stuff that we also have. So we've got salad. So let's create a single choice option for salad, and let's call this salad dressing, because that's yet another option, and this is going to apply to salads. And then maybe we want to have a category for sandwiches. Sandwich condiments. Or it could just be condiments, but we're going to call it sandwich condiments just to keep track of what we're doing. And in the case of sandwich condiments, much like pizza toppings, people are going to want more than one. So let's go ahead and make that for sandwich. Actually, we probably don't even need to say sandwich since we did pick that. But let's go ahead and just call it condiments, and away we go. And at this point, I think you get the drift of the different options that we might want to have. We can also reorder these if we wanted to. In fact, I might just go ahead and, since we know we're doing toppings for pizza, there's probably no reason to call it pizza toppings. Let's just call it toppings. Because really, when it's all said and done here, where we've selected the product categories are the only place that a customer is going to see those options. they won't see the options for salad when they click on pizza. They won't see. Now, if you had a particular category of options that were a fit for multiple types of food, then maybe you have hamburgers and you have sandwiches, and maybe you have mustard and mayonnaise and things like that. Maybe you want to let people put lettuce, tomato on everything. Whatever the case may be, then there may be a time when you would select multiple categories for some additional options. You might think of the options as being separated by which pricing model they have. If they're free options, you might want to have them bunched up differently than if they are paid options too. So lots of ways to think about it. But again, it's all going to be probably easy to figure out since your business will already have decided these kinds of things and have them in their menu. You'll just have to look at the menu and understand how they apply the options and pricing, and then do the same in your app. So getting back to our categories, we've now created a bunch of categories, but now we need value. So let's first fix our crust. And what are we going to have? So let's say we have thin crust. And we're not going to charge you anything extra for thin crust. And then we've got thick crust. Maybe we have a stuffed crust. And that's stuffed crust, mozzarella stuffed crust. Let's call it that. Mozzarella, or let's just call it cheese stuffed crust. And we're going to charge you maybe a little extra since there's more ingredients in that. In the case of the thick and the thin, well, it's a little more dough for this one, so we'll charge you $1 extra for that. So I can set these options, and there we go. Now, in the case of toppings, I'm not going to put every topping known to man for pizza, but we know that someone might want extra cheese. What are we going to charge for that? Let's say $2. In the United States, pepperoni is one of the most popular toppings that somebody might want. Sausage is another one that's very popular. Onion. Bell pepper. Mushrooms. But we could go on and on and on and continue to create toppings for the pizza. I think that's enough for our example here. And then we've got dressings for salad. Well, pizza's an Italian thing, so probably Italian dressing would be one of the more popular dressings in an Italian restaurant. But we might also have French dressing. Russian dressing. Thousand Island. Actually, I'm not going to write the word dressing. I think people, they already know they're looking for dressing. So let's just keep it simple. And ranch dressing. Blue cheese. And I think that's probably enough for our example at this point. Maybe oil and vinegar for people who just like oil and vinegar. Oil and vinegar. Some people would probably categorize that up here with the Italian. And if we were going to go by most popular dressings, probably adjust them like this. And since none of these are going to have an additional cost, that's all we're going to do with those. So now we've got our salad dressings to select from, and then our condiments for our sandwiches. We're going to want to have mayonnaise, I misspelled that, didn't I? Okay, how about we do that? Mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup. Maybe not on every kind of sandwich would be ketchup, but you never know. And let's say we want to make lettuce also a condiment. Tomato, onion as the available condiments for our sandwich. Maybe pickle. And you get the point. We can get all of those things there. We're not going to charge extra for those, so that's all we're going to do here. And so now what we've created is we've created all of our categories for our extra options. We've created the variable options in the attributes. And at this point, we've got pretty much all of the extra things that we're going to need to assign to our product. So at this point, we've got a cheese pizza. And we're going to have to go back here now and update our cheese pizza to be a variable product. And now when we select pizza sizes, we're going to say, yes, I want all 4 of these pizza sizes available for this pizza. We're going to use it for variations. So these particular attributes that we've set aside are going to be used for variations. And so we're going to save those attributes. And now we're going to go down and select what options go with these. And so we're going to say definitely crust and definitely toppings. And that's all we need for that. Whoops. And let me just move my my video tools out of the way to make sure I'm not blocking anything here. I guess we're not blocking anything. Okay, so we've got everything selected that we're going to want to do here. And now we're going to publish that. And at this point now, see, we can take a look here. And let's go back. And we can see that we've got our cheese pizza. It's a variable product. It's in stock, it's active, and we have not set a price. So we definitely need to make sure we set our price. And now we have to create our variants. Select pizza size, small. Regular price, what do we want to charge for a regular small pizza? Let's say $7. If we wanted to, we could set a special price that's for a period of time to offer a special deal. We're not going to do that in this case. We're going to apply our 7% sales tax. And we're going to publish our pizza. Now we're going to go down here and we're going to create a new variant. We're going to choose medium. Let's make that $8. Select our tax. Make it active and publish. Now we're going to go down and we're going to create a new variant. We're going to create a large pizza. Let's make that $10. Select the tax and publish. Keep in mind we should be adding pictures to each of these as we go. Oops, I did not make that active. We'll just go down here. We'll make this one active and I'll come back. Let's go ahead and add a new variant. Yes. And we're going to pick the extra large pizza this time. What we say before, $10. Let's make the extra large $12. And let's say right now we're going to give you $11 price. And we're going to start that today. Let's make that good till, when do we want to make that good till? Let's make it good till the end of the year. Still going to have our tax. And we're going to make it active. Now I need to go back and activate our large pizza. So let's go to large pizza. Now you'll see the products underneath the variant list. And we just need to make sure that we activate it and publish that. And now we should see all of them in stock and active, and you can see their prices. And now we are done with our pizza. And we can create a new product. So we have a number of options for our sandwich, and we have our salads. So let's create a salad. Let's create a plain salad, just a small salad. Small dinner salad. Small side salad. How about that? Or just a side salad. Well, let's just make it a side salad. Small side salad. And we're going to say the regular price of that is $5. And we don't really need any attributes with that, but we are going to need salad dressing. And so we select our salad dressing. We're going to keep it as a simple product. And so we don't have any other sizes. If we had sizes, we could still do this and not make it a variable. So we're going to go over here, and this is applied to our salad, right? So it's in the salad product category. We could also put this in the starter category if we want to, and we can make it active and publish. And now we've got two products. We've got a side salad and we've got a cheese pizza. So at this point, we've used some of our attributes. Now we can also create a sandwich if we want. This time, we're going to pick the sandwich category. Let's not forget to make it active. And let's make a, how about a turkey sandwich? Turkey club sandwich. Turkey club sandwich. Turkey club, club sandwich on toasted bread with turkey, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. And and we're going to charge $10 for that sandwich. Set the tax. And we're probably going to want to add condiments. And publish our sandwich. So at this point, we've created a number of different things here. We've got 3 different kinds of food that we've done in different categories. We've got 1 variable and 2 simple products, and we've used most of the extra options and add-ons, some free and some paid. Actually, I don't think, yeah, we did set the paid options. Okay, so we have done all those. So now let's go back and take a look at what our app looks like. Let's go ahead and see the changes in our app. And at this point, we can look in starters. We haven't added any starters but side salad, but if you click on the salad, you can now see, you would have a picture of a salad here. It's $5. And extras you can customize. Let's get your dressing. What kind of dressing did you want? Let's say oil and vinegar. Click done. It doesn't cost anything extra. And we're going to add that to our cart. Let's continue shopping. Let's see, what else do we want? How about a pizza? Let's get a cheese pizza. Notice here we have our cheese pizza, which is small, for $7. We can get a medium pizza for $8, large pizza for $10, and our normal extra large pizza is $12, but right now it's on special for $11. So let's go ahead and take the special. Notice how that looks. Based on what we've done here, you can see that when we made our categories for the variants, we probably didn't want to use pizza sizes and only use pizza, but you get the idea. The main thing I wanted to point out is what those different things we were creating were. So we named them accordingly, but as you build your app, you're going to want to adjust that to get the best look and feel for your customer. But anyway, so now you can go down here and we've got additional options for a pizza. So we want crust. Do we want thick, thin, or thin, thick, or cheese stuffed crust? Let's go with the cheese stuffed crust. We only can select one of those options. In the case of the toppings, yeah, sure, I'd like extra cheese because I like a lot of cheese on my pizza, and I like pepperoni, and I like onion, and that's probably good enough for me. And so I've got 3 items, right? So there we go. And so that's $6 for those things, plus the $11 pizza, right? So here we go. We add that to the cart, and now we go to the cart. Let's take a look at what we're ordering. So we've got a cheese pizza. It's got stuffed crust. It's got cheese, pepperoni, and onion. And we got one of those. And we've got a $5 side salad with oil and vinegar. Oh, and we forgot to buy our sandwich. So let's go back and say, oh, well, we need to get a sandwich because somebody needs a sandwich too. So let's go get our sandwich. There's our turkey club. And it's $10. And let's see, what do we want on our turkey club? Well, in the case of this sandwich, it does come with lettuce, tomato, and all that, but we have the ability to make it custom just the way we want it. So let's say, all right, well, I do want mayonnaise, and I do want mustard too, and that's not normal on there, so let's get that. And lettuce, tomato, and it didn't come with onion, but I want onion, so I'm going to add that too. And we say done, and then we add that to the cart. Now we go back to our shopping cart, and we've got our turkey club just the way we wanted it. And oh, somebody wants a turkey club just like the way we made it. Okay, let's add another one to the cart. Boom, now we've got 2 of them. Now we go down to our cart, and we can see our subtotal is $44. Well, that's the food total. And we've got our taxes and charges of $2.52. Of course, if we do the math on that, right, 7% is the 252, and then here's our grand total. Now let's check out. We'd have to create an account, which we can do. Oops, I'm just going to put my initials here. And let's do pizza at, oops, somebody's got to be able to type a little better than that, huh? At pizza.com. Here's the privacy policy. Yes, we're going to accept that. I'd like to hear about offers and show me in the ranking. Sure, why not? And let's save that. Oh, I didn't put a password. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they have 6 characters in it. And now I've got my user account is created. And so now I can check out. I want home delivery or I want pickup. If I want a delivery, it's going to add another $2, right? Because we know that the delivery charge is $2. We want to get that on Saturday. And what time do we want to get that? Let's say probably about 4:30 p.m. I don't have all my stuff, and please bring to the back area by the pool. And away we go. I confirm my order. And I don't have all the information in here. Of course, we have cash on delivery and we have check or money order. So we're going to say cash on delivery and we're going to place the order. And there's my order. If I want to see my order, and we've just created a food ordering app. And that's really all there is to it. So once you've done this, obviously you're going to go in and you're going to put your pictures in there. You're going to tweak this a little bit. You're going to make sure that you have all your extra options added. You're going to make sure that all your products get added. And that's going to take you some time, not a lot of time. But this is a very, very easy feature to use. It's very easy to add your items. It's very easy to move them around. It's probably one of the easiest e-commerce ordering systems that I have worked with in the mobile app space. So it's very, very well designed, and it should provide all the functionality that your customers need. So enjoy using the feature, and refer back to this video if you need to see it from start to finish again. You can also go to our knowledge base article, which breaks down each feature in detail and gives you additional information if you need to know something very specific for any one of the sections that we kind of breeze through. So hopefully this is helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.